Hafaday, Nick Delgado here with the KUAM News team, coming to you from the Department of Corrections, the prison here in Manila, from the facility where just moments ago we heard from Department of Corrections Deputy Director Kate Baltazar responding to the latest filing here for the District Court of Guam, the joint motion for dismissal and memorandum in support. Now, this is the latest court document filed before the District Court of Guam here in what has been a more than 25-year-old consent decree case before the Manila prison, for the local prison here. Some of the things that they've been cited for in the past have included things such as the medical care here, the fire safety, access to medical care, mental and dental health care, along with their locking mechanisms, or the lack thereof, of course, is what has been of greatest concern to the feds for the last 25 plus years, as I mentioned earlier. And it's a 9-page document that was filed again before the District Court of Guam today, pretty much saying that what was known as the Munson Order, or the 1991 settlement agreement for the healthcare requirements, among the other issues that the Department of Corrections has faced. They believe many of the concerns and those issues over the past 25 plus years have now been addressed. And so both the feds and the government here in Guam have come together to put this motion, a 9-page motion, together, the documents all coming together and filed to pretty much conclude that this is what it says, particularly that for the foregoing reasons, the parties' joint motion to dismiss should be granted in accordance with the attached proposed order. The territory has produced evidence that DOC, the Department of Corrections here in Guam, has learned the national correctional healthcare standards, has hired and thoroughly trained necessary personnel, has established an infrastructure for DOC outpatient clinics, future success, created and implemented compliant written policies, and last thing, will complete the remaining work on the locking system. Accordingly, they all conclude that this 25-year-old case should be dismissed. Again, this motion to dismiss, a joint motion to dismiss between the feds and the local government here in Guam, filed just today in the District Court of Guam. This finally putting to bed that 25-plus-year-old consent decree that the Department of Corrections has faced here for their prison facility, and just trying to keep up with par and clean up their act since they've been under this consent decree order. Now, pretty much we spoke with the Department of Corrections Deputy Director Kate Baltazar, who says that this is great news. This is historic news for the department, because even though the management, this round of management has been here for a rather short time in this 25 plus years of being under this consent decree, they've also had a lot of, done a lot to, of what they can to get this prison up to speed, to get everything that they need to meet the standards and meet the requirements of the feds. As a matter of fact, they've just recently issued the request for proposal, the RFP, for those locking mechanisms, the final straw that the feds have required for this consent decree. And so they're hoping to have the locking mechanisms, the projects, to get the ball rolling on that RFP within the next month, and hopefully have that locking mechanism in place at least later this year. We told you earlier on KUAM last month about the prison's new digital camera systems. Of course, not everywhere or inside much of the facility, but a lot of the common areas, the public areas, as well as a 360 camera to help give a view to add safety for both the staff and the prisoners here and the detainees here at the Department of Corrections in Manila. But there's still a lot more that they have to do. Of course, they're still trying to ramp up security, as they have several investigations underway when it comes to contraband or attacks or assaults that have happened here behind bars. It's, of course, a lot of these things that they're hoping will help them to help overcome their investigations and make things a lot easier. But again, the Department of Corrections with the federal government filing this joint motion to dismiss that 25-year-old consent decree that they've been under with the feds. They, of course, saying that they've established all the national correctional healthcare standards, hired and thoroughly trained necessary personnel, established an infrastructure for DOC outpatient clinics, future success, created and implemented compliant written policies, and again, working to put in place that locking system. And so the 25-year-old case, accordingly, they say, should be dismissed. We'll have a full story plus the interview from DOC management here on KUAM.com, and we'll have the very latest tonight at KUAM News Primetime. Stay with us as we'll keep you updated with this developing story. But one last thing, we do want to say that there's a status conference in the District Court this Thursday before Chief Judge Frances Tadinko Gatewood. No word yet if she will discuss this latest motion, this latest court filing, but that only time will tell. For now, in Manila, from the Department of Corrections prison facility, I'm Nick Delgado.